Hello, fellow fans. I'm Mark. With me is my co-host. If we had a limo, I'd be the driver and he would be in the back seat enjoying the ride. It's Bryan.
Hey, everyone.
Welcome, everyone, to UWF. On the last episode, Bryan and I united to get you pumped and ready for the summer movie season. And this episode is about us starting with the first movie of the summer movie season. It is Thunderbolts Asterisk. Now, did we like it? Is it a masterpiece or is it another stinker from MCU? Stay tuned, find out. UWF starts now.
Protecting you from boring evening.
All right, let's do this one last time.
Truth is, I am Iron Man.
Football is life.
I solemnly swear that I am up to no good.
X never, ever marks the spot.
Is Star Wars the one with the little wizard boy?
This is the way.
Avengers! Assemble.
Ah, chills. Literal chills.
United We Fan was taped in front of a live kitty audience. Hello, fans. Thank you all for uniting with us. Bryan, hello, and always a joy to see you, to hear you, to know you're supporting me. Thank you all. As we talk about all things fandom, please give us a rated review wherever you listen so we can have more fans out there on the UWF network. Follow UWF on Facebook, Instagram, X, Twitter, Discord, and more to have fun with us. You get some Discord benefits if you do it. Bryan, hey.
What's happening?
I want to know real quick before we get into our Thunderbolts. Now, remember, listeners, if you've never joined us, we do a non-spoiler review, and then we'll let you know when we're going to spoil it. So we'll give you a second. Bryan, I want to know, how is Andor going for you? Listeners, Bryan is my Jedi master to everything that is Star Wars, so I like to hear from my master.
So we were clamoring for 3-episode releases of Andor, but the last time Andor came out, they came out on Fridays, and they came out on Friday mornings. Now they're coming out on Tuesday nights at 8 o'clock for me. That's a lot to ask for me to do all 3 episodes in one day. Busy week. I've only seen episode 4. I still have 5 and 6 to go. But I mean, I just think it's excellent world building, man. Like the wedding we had in episode 3. Like, sure, the standoff was a little bit silly, but the reveal of where the standoff took place was enough for me to like forgive that. I thought the standoff was funny though. I think the first 3 episodes were excellent. The 4th episode was good. It's dark. It's very dark, but it's not as dark as something else we might talk about.
Oh, Andor was my favorite Star Wars show. Now, because of how the season is starting, I'm going back to Mandalorian. But so they released the first 3. I was kind of bored. Thought they could have summed it up in shorter. But the next 3 after that, I'm digging more. So it's getting me back. It's getting me back to Andorism. I don't know if that's a word, but I'm gonna go with it.
Sure.
Yeah. See, meow.
I have a question that I've been meaning to ask you and haven't, so I feel like on air is the right place to ask. Are you watching The Studio on Apple TV Plus?
I love The Studio. I think at the time of this recording, I'm 1 episode behind.
This latest episode regarding it's called Casting.
With Ice Cube? Yeah, I haven't seen it yet. That one. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. That show is so funny. That show is so good.
I love everything about it. I'm a huge movie nerd, so I hope it's reaching a bigger audience.
Dude, the episode when he went to the oncology doctor's gala and because I work in sports, right? Like I get treated like that all the time, that your job means absolutely nothing. And the fact when he outbid him at the end, like I cheered from my couch. It was obviously very like created. Like there's no way any of that would happen in like full real life, but it was very like taken to 11. But it was so funny. It was so funny. Like, and then Geely caught an absolute stray, and it's just such an excellent television show.
I loved it. I also cheered because as someone who works in the hospitality industry, people kind of look down their nose at that job as well. So I was glad he could stick it to him. I loved the episode where he went to visit the set, trying to be cool, and they had to get the shot during the magic hour. And then the detective episode when the reel went missing. Oh,
The Oner episode made me so uncomfortable. Like, so uncomfortable. He's just such a doofus. But, dude, that show, like, the level of intricacy to that show, like, it's insane. It's so self-aware and so funny.
Yeah, I'm on a hot streak right now because I finished The Pit, which I hope the award voters just make it rain on that show. It's brilliant. And then Bryan, I finished Paradise, which was on the Bryan recommendation list. So I just finished that one.
Freaking love that show. The 7th episode of that show is so good. And I'm not gonna lie, James Marsden, tune into mine and Mark Valentine's new podcast, Goats and Goats. We're crowning the greatest on-screen president, the GOAT, and we think James Marsden might make a run.
I will not. I don't think that will win the popular vote.
We talked about on-screen presidents on United We Fan not that long ago, but
it was
before Paradise, so he wasn't part of that conversation.
Get off my plane. Yeah. Anyways, so those are some shows for everybody to check out. We are discussing Thunderbolts. Bryan, I need to talk about theater etiquette before we get to this, and it relates because it was in my screening. Listeners, Bryan hasn't heard this yet, so he's going to hear it fresh with you. Bryan, please feel free to let me know if I'm being a grumpy old man or if,
Good morning. I'm
Even
Wilfred Brimley, and I'd
start
like
yet.
to talk to you for a few minutes about diabetes.
Preemptive.
Okay. So my theater, to paint a picture for everybody, it's one of those theaters where you have the 2 seats next to each other, then the aisle, then the 4 in the middle, and then an aisle, and then 2, and it's the recliner, fancy dine-in theater, blah, blah, blah. The aisle next to me, so I'm on the end of the middle, and then you have the aisle, and then 2. The people who are sitting there they have reclined their chairs, and they have kicked off their sandals. So their feet are just wiggling in their seats.
It's like they're riding Soren.
So luckily they're not sitting next to anyone. And they did do this, in their little private 2-person section. But I need to know, listeners, is this a bad theater etiquette? Is this up there with taking your shoes off and having your feet out on an airplane? Or is this just Mark just being a little grumpy?
See, I think bare feet's off limits. Like on an airplane, in a movie theater, it's just disgusting. Like the floor is not clean at
gross.
all.
No,
like it's not, and it's not to say that they don't clean it, but it's dark. Like it's not like spotless. There's no way it's spotless. Barefoot is disgusting. If you're wearing socks, I'm okay, fine.
Yeah,
same way on an airplane. But if you're barefoot, that's gross.
I need people to also realize I really enjoyed this movie. So the next couple of things I'm going to tell you about it still did not ruin my enjoyment of this movie. The gentleman next to me, who was at a Marvel movie, was wearing a Green Lantern shirt. But he was really nice. I forgave him for wearing a DC shirt to a Marvel movie.
That doesn't bug me anymore.
Okay. So I'm okay with it because DC gets so much hate. So I'm glad to see someone actually repping DC now.
Yeah,
but
my daughter has a dress with Mickey heads on it, and the Mickey heads, there's a Wonder Woman Mickey head and a Superman Mickey head, and I won't let her wear it because that crosses a line.
Whoa. So if you come to the parks and she says, "No, nope, can't call you daddy,"
she's got plenty of others. She's got plenty of other dresses she can wear.
Papa Bryan, can I wear my Mickey, Superman, Wonder Woman dress, please, to Magic Kingdom? You're going to say no to that little face?
It's got like 12 different Mickey heads with like characters in it, and like 10 of them are right, and those 2, like, it drives me insane. And my wife's kind of on board here, so...
What? So she can't mom and pop it? You're both going to tell her no?
Well, my wife knows that I would have said no. So,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
No, she wouldn't be able to do that.
Okay.
So the question is, why has it not been incinerated yet? That's a good question.
Because you love her and you're a good dad.
I gave you a segue for incineration.
Because I'm getting to this also. The gentleman next to me also just, he was really enjoying that heavily buttered popcorn and just let a couple of little silent but smelly ones go throughout the movie to where I just had to hide in my hoodie a little bit. I was just like, come on, man. The other thing that drives me up the wall, and this is coming from someone
Sorry about that. I think now's the right time to say we watched the movie next to each other. I was the one letting him go.
I have smelled the farts of Bryan, and they are of roses.
That's not true.
So then, but here's what drives me up the wall. Movie ended, everyone's leaving. That couple with the feet out, they left their food containers, bags that they snuck in food. So they left the bags on the floor. Their food containers were covered. They had a bag of mini Kit Kats, left all the wrappers on the tray and the bag for the ushers to clean up.
So the wrappers were loose?
They were opened, yeah.
But they were like on the tray on their own. They weren't like in a bag or in a container of any sort.
Yeah, just open.
Why do you sneak in food to a dine-in? Like, why do you go to the dine-in if you're like it's a dine-in? So like cleaning it up is part of the deal, right? Loose candy wrappers is different.
I don't mind them bringing in food. I'm just mad at the mess they left. I don't
know why you go to the dine-in if you're just gonna sneak in food.
I thanked the two ushers. I also got their names. I put in an AMC survey. AMC, please give them some loving, and just told them how disgusting people are, and I'm sorry they have to deal with it. And they were the sweetest about it. They're like, "No, it's fine. We're used to it." And I go, "That doesn't make it right."
Dude,
so,
they're coming off a month of Minecraft.
Bryan, have you still not seen that movie?
No, I said I'm not going to give that movie my money. No way.
Have you heard the Lava Chicken song from Jack Black though?
Yeah.
It's so good. I hate how good
I've been begged to take to go to this movie. Like, I haven't seen Sinners yet. There's no way I'm going to see Minecraft.
Anyways, that's Mark's little rant down theater etiquette lane. Discord members, listeners, please let me know maybe some things that bug you, or if you got an opinion on all that. Bryan, we are talking about Thunderbolts. Before it, we got some previews. I had Fantastic Four. I saw it in 3D. Fantastic Four preview in 3D was cool. Superman, it was the teaser one. They showed that. They showed The Rock in that new 8024 movie, The Smashing Machine, I think it's called. That looks really good. What other previews were there? Oh, Megan 2.0. God, I hate how that new preview actually kind of makes me want to go see it.
You got totally different previews than me. I didn't get any one of those except for Fantastic Four.
What did you get?
I don't know.
You don't even remember?
No.
Then how do you know?
No, I didn't get any of those. That's all I know.
I was really happy that the audience was highly motivated when the Superman one came out.
Nope, I didn't even get Superman. Yeah, I don't know.
All right. Friends, we're going to start off with a non-spoiler quick review of Thunderbolts asterisk. And so fear not, if you haven't seen it yet, we're not going to ruin anything. We're going to try to keep it as vague as possible, if we liked it or not. But yeah, Bryan, the Thunderbolts leading off the summer movie season. I think it's starting us off on a very high note for a movie that many people thought, oh, it's Marvel's Suicide Squad. I think this is going to surprise many, many people, and I hope that I don't ever hear this is Marvel's Suicide Squad ever again.
It has zero commonalities with the Suicide Squad.
Yeah, a bunch of misfits. Ooh, okay. That's a lot of movies.
Yeah, no, it has even less overlap with Suicide Squad than I would have anticipated. The name, the Thunderbolts, and the asterisk Both make sense. I actually love where the name Thunderbolts comes from.
Yeah.
And it wasn't. I'm glad they didn't force like a connection to Thunderbolt Ross. I guess
Nope.
That's not a spoiler, but this is our non-spoiler thing. I am, having seen this movie, I am going to reduce what I think it can do box office wise. I think $500,000's probably its ceiling, because I don't think the rewatchability factor is going to be very high. Yeah, or no, 500 million. Sorry, 500 million.
Yeah.
I don't think the rewatchability factor is going to be very high. Did I enjoy the movie? Yes. Am I clamoring to go again? I'm not.
I think it'll make more than, I'm going to stick with, it's going to make more than Captain America, Brave New World, which, good Lord, I didn't realize people thought so low of that movie. But I think it's going to make more than that. It's got enough time before Mission Impossible comes out. I think it's good.
I think I said last episode like 750 ceiling. I think the ceiling's closer to 600. I don't see people going to see this movie 3-4 times.
Yeah. I think 6. I think it will do 7. I think it will still do 7. But that's not bad. You know, I will say that some of the movies, not Captain America, but some of the ones before that have run like 2.5 hours. This one is just a little over 2 hours. I think it could have been longer. I would have loved to have dived deeper into these characters. I don't know so much as I would say, man, this should have been a TV show. I don't think that, but I really wish we could have seen more background on the characters.
I thought the length of the movie was right what it needed to be.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it. I thought the characters were good. Yelena's good. David Harbour as Red Guardian is just so much fun. It takes some really dark turns. If you think you know what this movie's about, you simply don't, which is
Not all.
which is really surprising. But it is a very self-contained film as well.
Can I also just say how beautiful Julia Louis-Dreyfus is?
Sure.
Like,
She's
also
crazy.
very talented.
She also dropped the Contessa from her name, which drives me crazy because I spent all that time making sure that I got the full name, and it wasn't Miss Fontaine, it's Miss DeFontaine, not Secretary of Fence.
I thought that was funny. I enjoyed that. Yes, Lewis Pullman, who plays Bob, son of Bill Pullman, possibly the greatest president on screen.
Ooh.
There was one scene where he dyed his hair, and he looked just like his dad.
He looked just like his dad. Yeah.
Yeah. Wyatt Russell's John Walker. They, just different direction and writing can show you how much it can impact a character. And I think both of those elements improved the John Walker character and made Wyatt Russell more interesting. So, it's got one credit scene and one post-credit scene. One is, good stuff with the movie. The other one, I think, goes back to Marvel credit scenes being not only really good leading up to the future, but also something that isn't going to be forgotten like so many have done before. Oh, Bryan, I loved the new Marvel Studios intro. I've always been a fan of them doing the comic book flipping, and it's not that, so I'm not spoiling it fully. I'm just saying we get a different kind of Marvel Studios intro, and I loved the one we got for this movie.
I think it fits the film.
Please stop just showing the MCU.
Yeah, I mean, if they're going to tailor it to every individual product, that's cool. But I don't know. I love the old one. I think you would still love the old one if they had removed it from the television shows sooner.
Yeah, it shouldn't have been with television shows.
We just saw too much of it.
That's just it. Too much of it. And then it got to the point where I was sitting in the movie theater and it would come on. And I'm going, skip. Oh, I can't skip. So, all All right. So, Brian, let's get down to it. Is it in your top 10 of MCU movies?
No.
Is it in your bottom 5?
No.
Cool. All right. So you would recommend it? You think people should go see it?
Yeah, it's good. Really good.
Right.
It feels more phase 1, phase 2 Marvel. It's quite self-contained until it's not.
Cool. Well, friends, that concludes this portion of the non-spoiler review of the Thunderbolts. Please go see it. Let us know what you think of it. If Rotten Tomatoes scores for it, have it as one of the highest rated MCU movies. We don't have it that high, but let us know what you think of it. Brian, let's go ahead and warn them. The spoilers are coming.
So you mean I can't tell people when showed up or when happened or when? That was crazy.
Can't believe you kiss your mother with that mouth. Good Lord. Man,
That's
thought I had a mouth on
That's
me.
the only spoiler warning I had available.
Oof. Good Lord. Your family's in the other room and you just said all that. God. All right,
I was bleeping
friends.
out. I was bleeping out spoilers. I wasn't bleeping out dirty words. You weirdo.
There were some words in there, people. Like it, man. Deadpool would have blushed at some of the things Brian just said. Anyways, so this is your spoiler warning. Alert, alert, alert. Spoilers are coming. So if you learn or hear anything after this, it's on you. Brian, Taskmaster. Man, she went out real quick.
Yeah, I kind of spoiled that last week, right? Like I felt bad after I said it, but it was pretty obvious she was going to die, and she died fast.
It was obvious. I don't think you spoiled it. It was kind of obvious, and
But if you weren't like paying attention, like we were, right? Like it might have caught you off guard. So sorry about that.
But good Lord, fighting, ghost pops, and then pop.
Well, why wear a mask if it doesn't stop a bullet?
Can I also just say that some of the costume changes, I was like, but then they kind of grew on me.
The biggest thing I learned out of this movie, did you know that they don't make new episodes of Dr. Phil anymore?
Yeah.
I thought Dr. Phil was still going.
I think he was doing something on YouTube at some point. I don't know.
The most Dr. Phil I see now is Adam Ray. Okay. This movie goes in a direction I did not expect. There is some struggling visual effects, particularly in the fight with Sentry, that weren't great. But the visual effect that they needed to nail, I thought they nailed with the Void personality. That dark silhouette with just the two white pupils, that was a cool visual, and I liked that.
That was cool. I definitely think they hit that. I don't really know what effects maybe didn't work for you. And I actually thought how glad I was that this movie didn't overdo the effects and none of them were distracting or anything. Like we didn't get a giant close-up of Harrison Ford's nipple in this one.
Yeah. But no, I think I was really surprised at how self-contained the movie was. It was very simple to follow until it wasn't. I thought diving into the void at the end could be a little bit convoluted. That was dark when Red Guardian saved that little girl and then she just immediately disappeared. Like that sucked.
Oh, my jaw dropped.
Yeah, that sucked. But let's go back. I mean, Taskmaster dies. Like Yelena, I love the guinea pig. If you noticed in the images at the credit scene when they were on the boat, like the George Washington painting recreation, the guinea pig was at the front of the boat. Cracked me up.
I loved the credits. Yeah.
Yeah. So okay, sorry. We probably need to go a little more. I don't have a ton to say on this film. Like we start
with them coming together. It wasn't forced or anything. It was, hey, we're tying up loose ends. You're not my target. You're that target. I thought that was really good. Bob, I laughed definitely the hardest in the tunnel when Walker is like, I got this, jumps into the tunnel, into the void, or not the void, I shouldn't say that, into the darkness, and then just falls down. I was like, oh, you've never seen that. Usually super soldiers just do whatever they want. But that's great that he has limits. So,
Who was your favorite Thunderbolt?
so
I mean, you obviously, if you watch this film, you know why they're the Thunderbolts. They're literally named after her 5-year-old soccer team. I thought was hilarious. They called them the West Chesapeake Thunderbolts at one point. Like, I thought that was excellent. But
I think Yelena is Bucky. I thought would have been mine, but his story is kind of watered down a little bit. And then I thought Alexei as the Red Guardian would. I love when he's like, "I'm the Red Guardian." What? His story. I don't want to say watered down. I think his story was exactly what it was supposed to be. I loved. What was his motto for the limo?
Save you from boring night.
Yes. John Walker. I give him most improved character. Let's see.
Protecting you from boring night, or protecting you from boring evening.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna go with Yelena. Yeah, but I thought of something after the movie, and Brian, tell me if I'm crazy. Think of the Thunderbolts as Inside Out. Okay, the Pixar movie. All right. Bob is the main child. Okay. Riley. Okay, fine. Yelena is kind of the lead emotion. We'll call her Joy. Not really, but she is battling with the other and new emotions. Bob is starting to get kind of taken over by anxiety/depression, and they all have to go and work together in Bob's mind. All of his emotions, all of these different emotions, all these different Thunderbolt characters have to come together to save the mind of Bob.
I see where you're going from that, but I do think part of what the message of this film was. I mean, this was like Marvel going to the therapy couch. Like,
yeah.
Like, I think the point of this movie isn't necessarily solving all your problems yourself, but supporting others and being a support for others.
Right.
And relying on others to pull you out of a funk, right? So Bob's made mistakes upon mistakes. Like his dark childhood when you hear his parents arguing when they're in that attic, like this movie went places that I never would have anticipated going. I don't hate the Inside Out comparison though. I mean, calling any of them Joy. I mean, Joy would absolutely be Red Guardian. Bucky's anger. Anyway, this movie had not enough.
No, John Walker's anger.
This movie didn't have enough Bucky at all.
No.
This movie ended up having very few stakes to it, other than what the asterisk means. But this, I mean, I'm glad this movie didn't have, like, if they had killed off Bucky in this type of film, I would have been very upset.
Yes. Bucky we saw in Captain America. He was on the campaign trail, I thought, in that movie.
I thought he had just been elected, I'm pretty sure.
Okay, yeah. And then, we can see he's not really digging the job. He did make a joke about them going to recess every day at 4:00 and not getting much done. So Bucky's clearly frustrated, but you don't really get to see it. And then also you could tell that Sebastian Stan didn't put in the muscle work that he maybe put in with the other ones. In this one, he looked skinny soldier.
Are you calling Sebastian Stan scrawny right now?
Not scrawny, fit. So not like thick, but fit.
But usually that's what people want to be.
Look, I'm looking at my dad bod right now, and I totally
I feel like Bucky was forced into this film. The lady that worked for Val made no sense.
What?
Like
her assistant?
Yeah, her assistant. She has this loyalty complex. And like she's against Val, And then when she kills Sentry, she's all the way back in. Like saying, I want to raise, like her loyalty. Like Val's still a very bad person at this point, but you're just all of a sudden back in because you killed the guy. Like that does not make any sense to me.
I didn't ever actually buy it that she was turning on Val. I know they were.
Well, then why
like,
call
oh,
Bucky?
okay, I guess she is. But it seemed very quick and easy.
Why call Bucky then?
Yeah. Well, that's what I'm saying. She all of a sudden, oh, okay, I guess she was looking for someone to help her. But okay.
Yeah, that was very much just a MacGuffin that just didn't work.
Yeah, and then him saying, "Oh, you all are my evidence. I'm gonna bring you in." Bucky, did you really think you were gonna bring them all in? So that was kind of like, oh, okay, we're just gonna kind of force ourselves past this little awkwardness so that we can all be together. Alexei being the limo driver.
I just wish we hadn't seen it. Like we saw the meetup in the vault. We saw the Bucky taking them out. Like we saw a lot of this film ahead of time. That's my biggest critique, and that's been a critique for Marvel for a while now.
For example, I was kind of bummed that they showed Bucky and his Terminator 2 moment saving them in the previews. I wish that had kind of been a surprise.
Yeah.
I wish we had thought, oh, he's just going to be Senator Barnes. But, oh, nope, here he is on the bike. I kind of wish that would have been a surprise left for the movie. Going down the line, talking about darkness, John Walker, I'm glad that he didn't just rebound.
That him dude's and his wife sucks.
Yeah, him and his wife and the kid that has not gone well. He's still reeling from not being Captain America anymore. When we left him in the show, it seemed like he was going to get some positive news from Val, but it's not really making him happy. So I liked that. And then we get Ghost back from Ant-Man and the Wasp, played by Hannah John Kamen, and
who?
Ghost. I said the name right.
You might have. I would have said Common, but it doesn't really matter. I thought she was super uninteresting. She didn't do it for me. She didn't do it for me in Ant-Man and the Wasp either, but I just thought she was. I guess it's cool that she has control over what she can do now. They picked and choose the spots they used her, and I don't think she was overused, but I still didn't find her interesting in where she was.
I like that they tried to make it work with her, and it wasn't just, oh, everything's easy. She can just phase in and out. Nope, we already anticipate that. Here's like a speaker scrambling things. Okay. But man, does she have the darkest like death cause scene in the movie, and then we just kind of she brings it up later like, oh, is she a good person, you knew her and all that. Oh, okay, so we are going to talk about it. Oh nope, we're still going to be over and done with it though. So we kind of got past how she just took out Taskmaster, no problem. So
yeah, but I mean that's what they're sent in to do, right? She was just fulfilling a mission. I can see them kind of falling for that. I do feel like there's a project missing of explaining exactly who Val is and how she got to her point, who appointed her where she is, and where the impeachment process would have begun. They gave us a little bit of exposition to explain it enough to make it make sense, but ultimately it didn't make a lot of sense. Yeah. What I don't understand is them now just going, like, is it they just want to be the Avengers that bad that they're going to just not out Val in front of everybody? Like, is it that simple?
So can I just say, when she goes, oh, I need an extraction, and then she started backing up. Yeah, I was like, oh God, is the press going to be on the other side? And she stepped through. I kind of saw that coming. And then, I knew they were going to go with it.
But why? I understand why Red Guardian would.
Well, Yelena wants to be
public.
Yeah, public. And then I think Bucky wants to go back to being that kind of life. John Walker wants redemption, so it kind of makes sense that they all want to be in the spotlight. But going back though, just before that, I appreciated that this big battle, which wasn't really a big battle, wasn't a huge CGI fest.
No.
It was going through different rooms, different scenes to help Bob. Even though, he's not fully helped because all he can really do is sit in his beanbag chair and read because we don't want him turning back into the bad guy again. But I liked that this climax was different from recent CGI blowouts.
I think that's what helped the movie feel so self-contained. Ultimately, not bottom 5 MCU, but certainly not top half in my opinion. I enjoyed the film, and I actually enjoyed it for what it was. It didn't come across. It felt like it had a lesson to teach, but it didn't come across overly preachy.
Yeah. Nope.
But I think because it was so like, this isn't an Avengers film. I understand it's called The New Avengers, but it's not an Avengers.
Calling it that.
It's not an.
I like the one
film.
headline. These are not my Avengers.
Yeah, I'm glad they undercut it immediately, right? Because that's what would happen. It's kind of cool. Ultimately, them being the New Avengers, 14 months later, post-credit scene we could talk about.
They didn't even fix his shield, by the way.
The taco, dude, that magazine cover of him riding the shield bent in half with the handle, I died. I thought that was so funny. But the fact that Bucky and Sam are enemies again, yes, thank you.
How did that conversation go? Poorly.
Yeah. The Bucky and Sam, but if we're really gonna just get caught up in copyrights, then screw that. But they're gonna need to work together. This isn't near as interesting as Civil War and tearing the Avengers into half, but
yeah,
I get it. I hate John Walker's beret with a passion. Yeah. I don't understand that. I think Alexi's funny, man. Bucky,
his little driver suit.
Bucky still just doesn't. Yeah, the NASCAR suit. Bucky doesn't fit with that team though. He still just doesn't fit. The conversation where she said she was still in high school when the attack on New York happened, and Bucky's like, I was 90. That made me laugh.
Yeah.
But I just don't think he fits.
I think he's trying to find still where he fits.
Right.
And he's trying to help Yelena. You could see it when she was trying to figure out the iPad and all that. Bryan, do you like Avengers with a Z? Does it make it edgier for you?
Sure.
Can I just say probably one of the few people who was looking at the credits and the music credits. By the way,
yep,
shout out.
I saw it too. I know exactly where you're going. I saw it too.
Shout out to the composers. They did Everything Everywhere All at Once. I really enjoyed this score. But then as I'm reading the song credits, Fantastic Four theme, Michael Giacchino. And I'm going, oh, great. Yep. I guess I know what the next credit scene is.
Yep. I saw exactly the same thing.
That kind of sucked. So post-credit scene, I thought it's, we're getting some good, useful details. But then I know a lot of people right now are kind of disappointed because they saw the Fantastic Four rocket and they go, oh, well, I guess we know how the movie ends. They escape that and end up here. Not necessarily. We still don't know. By the way, Fantastic Four, I'm hoping they kind of launch to our universe and then go back to theirs. I don't want them in ours. I want them to go back to their universe. Am I alone on that?
I assumed their rocket launch to be either what turns them into the Fantastic Four at the beginning of the film, or where they're going when in the trailer when they say are we in danger, and Reed's I don't know. I don't think that's the end of Fantastic Four. I don't think that's the beginning of Doomsday. I don't.
So I think there's 2 rocket launches in the preview. The one that makes them, and then there's the one where you see it's the 4 and, Ben Grimm is the Thing, and they go on a rocket launch. I think it's the second rocket launch that we see.
Yeah,
in this
you're right, because the first rocket launch before they're the Fantastic Four wouldn't have that logo on it, right? So it would have to be later than that.
Fantastic Four.
It's a fun score. Ultimately, that movie's going to have way more consequences than this one. This really feels like a Civil War light. Like, it literally is just gonna get the old Avengers and the new Avengers, right? Like,
and then we got the West Coast Avengers building.
Well, yeah, then that team's more interesting to me as well. So I mean, ultimately, I think to your point, the post credit scene, it's Marvel getting back to teasing the next project and the very near future rather than a blue sky. What if this happened?
Yeah. All right. So Bryan, you said it's not in your top 10. I know I posted on my quick personal social media. I could be talked into it, and then I thought about what movies are in the top 10. I'm saying no, this is not in the top 10 of Marvel movies.
No, I think my number 10 when we ranked it was like Black Panther or something like that, like Spider-Man: Homecoming. Like, this isn't that good.
No, good Lord, you have those low. So no, it's not in the top 10. It's not in the bottom 5, which it's kind of like Pixar. If you say it's a bad Pixar movie or just an okay Pixar movie, that's not saying horrible things. There's really good Pixar movies out there. So I don't think it would be in the bottom 5 for me. I'll probably go see it again so I can catch it in Dolby. Highly recommend seeing it. No, it was fun in 3D. You don't have to. Now the Fantastic Four preview in 3D, that was good stuff. So, but yeah, I enjoyed it. I think it's a fun movie, good for the summer. I think it's going to put a better taste in people's mouth. Like I said, I'm just discovering how low people think of Captain America: Brave New World. Good Lord, people have really bad thoughts about that movie.
My audience was pretty weak. I laughed at several jokes that I was the only one in the theater laughing at, and I don't care. I thought some of the jokes were funny, but I find Alexi far funnier than a lot of people. I think that DoorDash line would have killed if people hadn't already seen it.
Yeah. Same with when Val asks, "Who's Red Santa over here?" I think had that not been the preview, that joke would have killed even more.
I don't know if I remember that preview. I kind of tuned out of the previews because I just kind of I don't think I ever saw that. But anyway, like, I think the reveal of Avengers Tower shouldn't have been made. Like, I think those are the kinds of things we would have found far more interesting if we didn't know about them in advance.
Right. Yep. All right. So Bryan, coming up this summer, we have Mission Impossible, we have Superman, we have Fantastic Four. So it's going to be a good summer. We plan on doing more reviews for you. Until then, stay tuned. Listen to us. We got more episodes coming this summer. That does conclude this episode. Bryan, as always, a pleasure. We thank you, fellow fans, for uniting with us. For those listeners who want to get in touch with the show, please do so. Bryan, tell them how.
You can find us on Instagram at United We Fan Podcast. Shoot us a message. We'll get you a link over to the Discord.
Yes, Discord benefits such as joining in on polls, discussions, being a guest on episodes. We love to hear from our Discord members. Thank you again. Listen to us wherever you check out your podcast. Till we unite again, fans, remember, don't knock on Alexi's door if he requested or checked off, leave it at door. He'll report you to DoorDash HQ.
My powerful 2-car fleet is at your service, protecting you from boring evenings.